Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the Lone Wolf Podcast. Going to take a few minutes, let some people start rolling in. Going to get the link shared over onto Twitter. Got a lot of stuff to talk about again today. Trying to get back to some sort of a normal schedule, start doing these live streams every week. If you noticed, I look a little bit more professional, I guess you might say, today. Contacts were bothering me, so I've had to put the glasses on. But we're going to be talking about this stuff that's continuing to go on with the Joe Rogan controversy. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be diving into what some of the people have said in response to the Joe Rogan controversy. You've got different elements on the right and the left who are talking about this. And quite frankly, some of them are really just grifters. We're going to talk about that. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about what's going on with the Freedom Convoy taking place up in Canada. There's some interesting stuff going on with that. We're going to be covering that today. And so, we're going to let some viewers trickle in. I'm going to go ahead and get this tweet sent out and we'll get this show on the road. All right, so got the tweet sent out. We'll go ahead and get the viewers start to trickle in here. I'll just go ahead and start getting into it. If you need to back up at all, if you tune in, you're a little behind, you want to know what we're talking about, just back it up. But Joe Rogan, the biggest podcast in the United States today. So, really, I think in the world, technically, right? So Rogan is... he's coming under fire. So for those who haven't seen yet, there's some real issues right now with, obviously you had the whole thing about vaccine skepticism, misinformation. They're peddling that stuff out there, right? But then the next thing that they did was they came out and they took clips of Rogan and they spliced them all together and they made a compilation video of Joe Rogan using the N-word. Okay. I forget the Twitter account that put this out. But the way they spliced this whole thing together, they truly made it seem like Joe Rogan is just blatantly using the N-word like he's a stone cold racist. Okay. And that he literally is just some racist pig, uses the N-word to describe black people. Now, let me go ahead and come out and get the elephant out of the room. I've heard Rogan's argument. There is no reason to use that word. His reason is still not an excuse. Rogan has put out a video himself explaining he regrets ever using it, that he wishes he had truly just never done it to start with, right? And so what more can you say? I mean, he acknowledges he shouldn't have done it, and there was no excuse to ever do it. But to be fair, and he points this out, the instances where he used it, he was not using it as his own word to describe. He was using it from what other people had said. So he referenced Red Fox, Richard Pryor, possibly even Eddie Murphy. Like, all these people have done it. Red Fox used it on Sanford and Son in primetime television in the 1970s. You had George Jefferson use it in an episode of All in the Family. He didn't bring that up, but I know it because I've watched all the All in the Family episodes along with Sanford and Son and the Jeffersons. So I've seen all those old 70s sitcoms. Now, the obvious thing is going to be, well, they're going to say, well, Richard Pryor, Sherman Helmsley, who played George Jefferson, Red Fox, who played Fred Sanford. These are all black men. And it is accepted if black people in the black community, if they want to say it, that's fine. And I am not going to sit here and say there is an excuse for a white person to say that word. There isn't. The only thing that I find hypocritical about it is that a lot of these people who are jumping on this bandwagon now and saying that Rogan is wrong for saying it in the context of what other people were saying. Well, for one, some of them are just being downright hypocrites. You just had Kyle Kalinske come out, today, and make a video pertaining to all this and admit that he himself has used that word in the past, not say the N-word, but use the word in the past in the context of what someone else has said. He just quoted what they said and he went right along with it. I mean, literally, Kyle Kalinske has completely admitted to that today, I believe, right? And he's got the videos out there of where he does it. But what's really interesting, and I'm going to play the clip of John Iadarola here in just a little bit, but what's really, really interesting is TYT's response, okay? So I'll roll the John Iadarola clip here in just a little bit, but their response to this has been absolutely dumb, okay? While they're coming out and giving the mainstream media narrative like, oh my God, he's such a racist, he's this and he's that, this is what Cenk Uygur has done in the past. Now, I'm going to do what John did with the Joe Rogan clips. They bleeped them out. I bleeped some of these out, but this is the guy who founded TYT. TYT, of course, who's criticizing Joe Rogan for this. This is what their own founder has done in the past. Take a look at this.
Except when I say it 6 more times in this recording. Okay, never gonna happen. Not in my lifetime. I work too hard for them to catch me using the word. Okay, no, I'm not talking about the n. No souls. I'm talking about regular.
I mean, really? Like, you guys are gonna come out and criticize Joe Rogan, who was using that word in the context of what other people said, and what did your own network founder do in clips? And there are others out there as well. This isn't the only one. This word has been used on the TYT network before. This is not unheard of. They've done this before. Okay? What's the big surprise here? I mean, like, TYT are some of the biggest hypocrites, in all honesty, that I think I've ever seen. Yeah, and then you don't have to defend Joe Rogan. As I've already said in this video, he shouldn't have said it either. But it is just downright hypocritical for TYT to come out and criticize him doing it. But not only criticize him, but pretend he's just doing it as his own word to criticize black people. Now, if you watch the clip, I'm sure that's the impression you would get from it. But remember now, guys, TYT is supposed to be mainstream media alternative. They are supposed to be digging into clips that they find and doing research and reporting on the facts. I thought that's what genuine news was supposed to be doing. What did I miss here? So either you're gaslighting and trying to now promote a false narrative about Rogan, or you genuinely just didn't look into this one damn bit at all. So go ahead and answer some of these chats here while I'm getting this ball rolling. Before I roll this clip of John Iadarola, apparently there's a bot in the chat. So yeah, I'll probably have to set up some moderators with this at some point in time later on. Still getting into this live streaming stuff. ICU. Anthony Reyes, yes, I wear glasses, just not that often. I'm mostly a contacts person, but the contacts started aggravating my eyes. Even the last time I was doing the live stream, my eyes were getting real watery, so I'm giving my eyes a break, putting the glasses in for a little while. But as far as what John did, it's what I've been talking about, this whole Joe Rogan thing. I just played the clip. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and just play it again because I've got more viewers trickling in now. this whole thing about Rogan and the N-word. So TYT's reporting on it. And as I said at the beginning, Rogan should not have said what he said. Okay. But they're reporting on it as if him using it in context of when other people said it was totally inappropriate. Just completely inappropriate. He should have never said it. And what's just downright hypocritical is, and I'm going to play it right here, is what their founder of their fucking network had to say. Listen to this.
Except when I say it 6 more times in this recording. Okay, never gonna happen. Not in my lifetime. I work too hard for them to catch me using the word. Okay, no, I'm not talking about the nigger, no souls. I'm talking about nigger.
I mean, what in the hell do you call that? Like, you're gonna literally come out, Anthony Reyes, that there's a whole compilation of TYT saying it. Yeah, I mean, as I pointed out earlier, Kyle Kalinske literally came out today and admitted he's done the same thing in the past. So for you to go after Rogan based on that, it is just downright hypocritical for you. Now, if you want to say Rogan shouldn't have said it, I agree with you 100%. I'm saying that myself. What you're not going to find are clips of me saying it. The closest thing you're going to find to that is an episode that me and Franco were involved in at some point where we were talking to Israel that used to host Big Talk, Little Talk, and that's when he had his fucking little meltdown or some shit, went back Republican, or I don't even know what that guy is up to anymore. But there was one point where he said it, okay, and me and Franco at the video were like, dude, you seriously need to take that shit the fuck down, and you need to say something about that. And that's me and Franco quit interacting with him for a long time after that. Like, that was some shit, man. I mean, that's the closest thing you're ever going to find to me with that damn word out there. And it still didn't come out of my mouth. I was in a video where someone else said it. But Anthony Reyes, Israel was pissed drunk. I truly miss Izzy. Well, he was an entertaining character for sure. I remember that time me and him were drinking through one of his live streams, and I'm still perfectly coherent, and he's so fucked up he can't even end his damn live stream. That was some embarrassing shit, to say the least. His face was a nice shade of red. But no, that being said, this is what Cenk Uygur has said in the past. Now I want to play for you so you can hear it. This is what John Iadarola had to say on TYT recently. Okay? Take a look at this, because this is just how much of a damn hypocrite TYT is. Listen to this.
To my attention by J.R. Jackson. So we're going to jump into a video in 1 second. I want to give a content advisory notice because there is a lot of harsh language, racial slurs, but they should all be bleeped out still. That said, this is what we're going to do. So let's launch into this video.
You know, the thing.
Yes. Saying the word.
I already said he is just like
Saying.
she's calling you like this boy that he's starts calling him word. There should be a word like, especially like the word that's he says guy, and they're saying I've used word out the word you couldn't say.
So, although they were bleeped out, every one of those bleeps represents a different instance of Joe Rogan saying the N-word. Fully and proudly and across seemingly many years, because there were so many different sets that were represented there. But that was all collected by Patriot Takes, which has the uncensored version on their Twitter account. We just want to throw this out as a bit of added context. People are taking a second look at Joe Rogan and his legacy and his place in media. So a bit of context. He has said that word a lot of times, Michael.
Pause this shit for a second. Can you imagine TYT having the fucking set of balls? I don't know how in the hell John Iadarola walks. If I had balls that big, they'd be dragging the fucking ground and I couldn't walk upright. Okay? These motherfuckers are going to sit here and say they're going to add a bit of context yet they're playing a compilation clip completely taken out of fucking context, trying to give you the impression Joe Rogan was using that word himself to describe other black people. They're going to use that tactic to smear him. And yet, once again, you've got the compilation clips of TYT, Cenk Uygur especially, doing the same fucking thing. But they're going to have the fucking big brass balls to sit there and say they're going to add a bit of context. What the fuck? Look at in the chat here. Democracy, Johnny Boy. Yeah, Johnny Boy, oh Johnny Boy. What a fucking tool. Anthony Reyes, TYT should also get canceled if all things being equal. The irony. You think? I mean, this is a whole fucking another level of hypocrisy here. I mean, really, this shows just what kind of pieces of garbage TYT really is. Okay, let's finish playing this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this morning on Patriot Takes on their Twitter feed. The thing that struck me was how comfortable he is saying it. Not, you know, in obviously the multiple instances, not that he was saying it with venom. It's a word that has venom implicit in it. It's the worst word. But he was so comfortable saying it, whereas it gives everybody pause hearing it, or I shouldn't say everybody, it gives good thinking people pause just to hear it. He's so comfortable saying it, and it was really disturbing. It's really disturbing that so many people defend him.
So now let me get this straight, okay? Now they're going to sit there and talk about how comfortable somebody was with saying it. Like this dude with the Chairman Mao haircut is some fucking linguistics expert who can tell by the tone of people's voice what they have in their heart and what the hell they mean. First of all, it was a very soundbited clip. You didn't even hear much follow-up to anything he said after he said those words. But as Anthony Reyes is pointing out here, how comfortable were Anna and Cenk saying it? And all the while, like I said, that John Iadarola must have a really big fucking set to sit there and say the stuff that he said. Okay? They're really not that big in actuality because you don't have the balls to call out your bosses. I said on Twitter, your boss. I forgot. Anna's your boss now too, isn't she? Yeah. So when were you planning on calling out your network's founder and his second in command for using those words to talk about other people using those words, much in the same way Joe Rogan did? Like, when you get ready to do that, then we can have a legit conversation about your opinion being worth a fuck. But as long as you're here to gaslight, and as long as you're here to pretend that Joe Rogan's doing this one way and ignore what the top people at your own fucking network have done, guess what that makes you? A liar, a gaslighter, and a fucking fraud and a grifter. You're trying to hop on board this Joe Rogan wave for views. Now, some might say I'm doing the same thing. I mean, I'm talking about this subject, but the difference between me and John is I'm actually laying the facts out there. I'm saying Joe Rogan shouldn't have said what he said. It was fucked up that he said what he said, regardless of the context. But I'm pointing out these people who are coming to the front to try to skewer him, to try to skewer Joe Rogan. People like TYT and John Iadarola are grade A fucking hypocrites because they've said literally the same shit in the same way. So here's the interesting thing, okay? These are the guys that consider themselves lefties. Now, true lefties are going to dispute that. They're going to say they're not progressive. They say they're faux leftists, faux aggressives, stuff like that, right? And I'm inclined to believe it because I actually know people who are true lefties. But there are some people on the right who really get down to the same thing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get the disclaimer out. The only reason that I'm going to talk about this particular segment is because, number one, there was an original put up yesterday, and there were some low-key shots taken at me once again. Now, I'm not going to dive into what was said or how exactly it pertained to me. Needless to say, I addressed my issue in their comment section to the point they wound up taking their video down. But they were removing a lot of my comments, which makes their whole take about this whole Joe Rogan freedom of speech shit even that more of a hypocrisy. And by the way, I say these people on the right, there's more who are probably just like this guy who consider themselves on the right. This guy considers himself a Republican for now. Who fucking knows? He could be a libertarian again next week. Hell, it wouldn't surprise me if by the time we get around to the next election, he somehow ends up back to the Democrat side if Tulsi runs again as a Democrat. But this is the first fucking thing. I'm going to play this clip because I just showed the hypocrisy of the people who call themselves the honest reporters of the left, even though they're not. Now let's talk about some who are on the right. Get a load of this, and then we'll have some stuff to show you afterwards. But get a load of this real fast.
Is under fire. Apparently, too, a whole bunch of people are leaving Spotify, and they're canceling their subscription for a variety of reasons. And the media is going to say, well, it's solidarity. People are canceling their subscriptions because they're standing with Neil Young and Joni Mitchell and whoever else, David Crosby, all these geezer rock stars that I tend to cover on the other channel. I don't know if that's necessarily it. They might be leaving Spotify because they really like Joe Rogan and they don't like these attacks. And the media is doubling, tripling down. Apparently the guy from Spotify who runs the platform is out there saying things like, hey, you know, Rogan said these racial slurs, but we're still going to keep them. And we'll see how long that actually will last. Because once these people get going, they're amazingly persistent. What's really discouraging is somebody who would like to see an alternative to the woke mob, right? I'd like to see a different kind of awake mob come along and say, no, if Rogan gets, you know, run off this platform, we've got a soft landing spot for him over at our new platform, right? And Rogan would instantly be a success wherever he goes. Glenn Greenwald, by the way, is a guy like Rogan who's more on the left, got tired of the censorship, went over to Rumble, and he's getting like 223,000 views on a video, right? So that's not bad. I know a lot of people just hate to have to switch. And I understand that. There are, you know, a lot of reasons for that. You build up an audience, you work at it, you put content together, and then you have to like pull up stakes and leave. And, you know, that's kind of a crappy thing. Nobody wants to have to do that. So there are a lot of things at work here with Rogan. Rogan can say whatever he wants to these people at this point to try to make things better. It's not going to work, apparently. It's just not going to work. And we've seen this, you know, they make you repent and then they require more, and then they still go back through the archives. And look, I'm not endorsing any of the words that Rogan used.
So it's nice to know that Dave doesn't endorse any of the words that Joe Rogan used. I mean, I'm glad to hear that. Why am I doing this? Why am I talking about Dave again? There's probably some people who want to know why haven't I put this to bed. Well, number one, his original video talking about Rogan took some shots at me. Again, his audience has no idea, but I'm talking about it since he did. I said anytime he did that, I might respond, but I'm not going to respond at that. What I'm going to respond more to is the fact because me and him, and this is probably one of my biggest regrets with this channel, have collaborated so much over the years, we got a lot of similar viewers. And my eyes are wide open now on who David Spurrier is. Okay. Now, what he said in that clip actually makes a lot of sense. Like he's talking about freedom of speech. He's talking about all this censorship and how bad it is. And guess what? I agree with Dave on that 100%. Okay. I agree with him wholeheartedly. You know, they're not going to let up on Joe Rogan. They're not going to stop this. They want to cancel Joe Rogan. They see him as a threat and they want to shut him down. Okay. The reason that I'm doing this is because you've got to be careful who you get your information from. And because we have so many similar viewers, and because he did what he did yesterday, I think it'd only be fair that some of these viewers, if they continue to watch his channel at this point, know who they're dealing with. Okay? Because while he's advocating for freedom of speech, and while he's saying all this censorship is such a bad thing, and that isn't the first time, like he kind of hinted at there, he's had videos where he just downright talks about how bad this censorship is, how they're trampling all over freedom of speech. Is he right about that? He's 100% right about that. No questions asked. No questions asked. But all the while that he's talking about why we need more free speech, let's play what he said at the end of that video. This isn't but just a few seconds. Let's hear what he had to say at the end of that video.
I'm open to a lot of stuff over here. I'll be talking about all kinds of different subjects and topics and basically whatever is on my mind, you know, because it is my channel. And I decide what is going on the channel. So
Dave decides what's going on his channel. Okay. I guess I get that to an extent, right? No one probably thinks much of him using that remark. Like no one's probably listening to that and saying, okay, what's the big deal here? Well, let's talk about the big deal, because this guy who's over here hopping on the Joe Rogan train for views to his channel, while he's advocating for freedom of speech, that last little line was a dig at the fact he took his original Joe Rogan video from yesterday down. And why did he take it down? Because again, he made certain remarks subliminally referencing me at the beginning, which I was more than happy to respond to in his comment section. And guess what Dave does to these comments? If you don't believe me, ask Reed Coverdale. Ask Jose, from the No Way Jose show, okay? Ask those guys what Dave does when he doesn't like your comments. He'll delete the motherfuckers. Wait a minute, Dave. I thought we needed more freedom of speech around here. So when he tells you he makes the rules, this is actually what the fuck he means right here. This shit right here is a comment he pinned on one of his videos shortly after he rebranded from the Radical Independent to the Real Media Observer. The comments will only stay on if they are positive and supportive. It's my channel, so I make up the rules. Simple, really. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like the exact same argument given by Twitter, by mainstream media, by YouTube. Let's stick with social media. Like that's what they literally say, right? Like when YouTube kicks a channel off, when they deplatform someone, or when they just pull a video down, what is their reason? Well, this is our platform, and we get to decide what goes on it. And Dave hears that and goes, no. We need more freedom of speech. They're trampling on our Second Amendment rights. He sits there behind his keyboard and computer in Florida, doing all this bitching about censorship, yet he is censoring the fuck out of his comment section. He realized I was going to keep blowing up his comment section because of what he had to say at the beginning of that video, And it ain't like the first time it's happened. When he first popped his mouth off about Reed and some libertarians, and they took to his comment section, he got to the point he was just turning the comment section off. He got to the point where he eventually took the video down. So he made a video using, by the way, since we're on the subject of deceptively edited clips, that's exactly what the fuck he did. So let me get this straight, Dave. Now you're attacking all these deceptively edited clips. That's what you were referring to was the Joe Rogan N-word scenario, right? And the deceptively edited clip. And you're going to talk about what the problems of that are after you literally just got a clip from Stacey Hanline, the host of Stacey for Truth, which is why I kicked her off the TFP network. She took a clip of a friend of mine and one of his guests, spliced that shit up to make it sound like they were advocating beating women, sent it to you, and then you did the fucking TYT thing, didn't look into it one damn bit, and just ran your mouth about it for 30 fucking minutes, calling them soy boys and every fucking thing else and pissing them off. That started the whole shitstorm. Then when they took to your comment section, you delete that video, you make another video where you continue to insult them, they blow that one up, you take that one down, you make another response video, all hell breaks loose. You wind up taking all those videos down and deleting their comments before you do, and then eventually say you're done, only to then start continuing your bullshit in my comment section, which is why I said I was parting ways with you. And ever since, you want to pretend that I just wouldn't forgive you. But in the meantime, you just launched your new channel. And literally your first video, new focus, new channel, no drama. And you make a video yesterday taking subliminal shots at me because he literally said, he was like, it doesn't matter what you do, these people will never forgive you and they will never move on. I just went through that recently. Motherfucker. He said I was making that video about me by my comments. No, you were subliminally referencing me. We both know who the fuck you were talking about. You've had this little stick up your ass that you think I wouldn't forgive you because you can't quit being a fucking teenage girl. Period. I've already said I forgave you, but I already said as long as you just keep provoking me, might have something to say in response. And the more you provoke, the more of those little segments I can pull and really show what a fraud you are, dude. I mean, the evidence is out there. Not that certain people who watch my show don't already know, but we do have a lot of similar viewers that watch both of our shows. And I think it's only fair if you're going to keep being this much of a fraud, they understand who the fuck they're watching because I want to be an honest show. And so I want my viewers to know who they're fucking watching out there. So I think it's only fair if you're going to advocate for all this freedom of speech and you're a bigger channel than mine, so I'm not punching down here for damn sure, okay, that they know how much of a fraud you are when it really comes to free speech. So this is what I'm getting at. You got the frauds on the left who are doing this shit with Rogan for clicks, and you got frauds on the right because they're Republicans this week who are doing the exact same shit. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anthony Reyes, he's a snowflake, sounds like a bitch, to be honest. Yeah, something I came to a realization on. Honestly, I knew Dave, changed more than the fucking seasons in a year on his stances, but because I got along with the guy and we always had good conversation, I thought he was a nice guy. It was one of those things, I guess, kind of like what Jimmy did with TYT for a while. You got along with him, so you just kind of looked the other way on this shit, right? And that's what I did. But I found out now, dude's a fucking complete fucking little teenage girl drama queen. And he wants to call other people that shit. He calls other people that for calling his ass out and exposing the shit he's saying and that he's doing. No, that's not drama. That's actually trying to be more of an honest reporter and talk about the facts than you. Okay? The facts are, Dave, you can't say that you're pro-free speech if all you're going to do is censor the hell out of your comment section. Now, I'll give a shout out, okay? First of all, there have been people who say I delete their comments. I don't. YouTube will go through and filter comments, okay? I engage people in the comment section. There have been plenty of people that have said something I did not disagree, that I did not agree with, and I heavily disagreed with, and I said something about it in my comment section and debated them back and forth. The closest thing I've ever done to engaging in censorship, and someone brought this to my attention, and I looked at it and I said, well, you know, I guess I never really looked at it that way, but it makes sense, and this is what I'm going to start doing from now on, is on Twitter, there would be certain people who would just, you know, annoy the hell out of me, and so I would eventually sometimes just block them if I just didn't want to hear from them anymore. Someone said to my attention, why don't you just mute them instead? Then you still won't see the stuff. I'm like, you know what? That actually makes a lot more sense. I just never looked at it that way. That's the closest thing you're going to get to me engaging in censorship. But it is just absolutely fucking hypocritical for a guy to sit down there in Florida in his fancy little subdivision while his kids go to private schools, bitch about censorship and how we need more freedom of speech while he actively censors his own comment section. So as I said in my last live stream, I just didn't reference him by name. These are the type of Republicans who literally bitch about censorship because they want to be the censors. Dave wants to sit here and bitch about all this censorship and how bad it really is. But come on now. Come on. You doing the same shit just at lower scale. Like, you imagine what you would do, Dave, if you're going to censor your own comment section that way. What if we put YouTube in your hands, huh? What if we put Twitter in your hands? What the fuck would you do with it? Like, this is the same guy who completely turned on Reed Coverdale, who he had been friends with and brought on his show multiple times, completely turned on him and started throwing him under the bus and saying all this shit about libertarians because he took something Reed Coverdale said completely out of context. Because Dave wound up claiming for the next multiple months that Reed Coverdale claimed that Republicans hate Mexicans and Hispanics and that they are anti, and Reed also made some like jokes about Christians or something. The fuck? So you completely kicked out your friend, just tossed him off to the side. And even all the times I kept trying to get those two back together and say, like, why, you dude, like, I think you took it out of context. I think you misunderstood. Why can't, you know, we just put this behind us? I think Reed's a nice guy. Dave would have no part of it. He would have no fucking part of that. Okay. First of all, Reed never said Republicans hate Mexicans. Reed said there were certain Republican policies that were anti-Hispanic. Can you argue with that? I mean, there are. Wasn't it the 45th president that literally said that Mexico was sending over their rapists and their criminals, and he assumes that some of them were good people? I'm pretty sure he ran as a fucking Republican, didn't he? So what did Reed say that wasn't true? But this guy took it and just fucking ran with it for forever as far as to why he didn't want to associate with Reed. And now that this shit all hit the fan, and I won't have anything to do with him, it's funny as fuck because now he's all over Getter because he doesn't want to use Twitter anymore. He's all over Getter now, trying to beg and plead for Reed to have something to do with him again. Like, the man you just sat there and talked all that shit about all this time, like, such a little fucking girl. But the biggest point to take away from this shit is he's fucking hypocritical. Again, if you got that pissed over something saying, like, a religious joke, like, who the fuck are you, Dave? Mike Lindell? Who are you? Seriously. Because Mike Lindell said he was going to make a free speech platform and then said if you're cussing or making anti-religious jokes or whatever, anything against God, if you're going against our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, amen, we will not allow that on our platform. I don't call that freedom of speech. So, Dave, you want all this freedom of speech. You want this stuff. I got a question. What would you do if you got control over it? You won't even let people make critical comments of you. You won't allow criticism of you in your own comment section. A comment section that don't even get more than like what? Fucking 20 comments per video hardly. So out of 20 comments, you got to go through and censor if anybody said anything that you don't like. Because remember, folks, remember, for the comments to stay active on his show, they've got to be positive and supportive. It's my channel, so I make up the rules. Simple, really. Which is the exact same argument they're already making now as to why they're removing the stuff you think should be staying up on these social media platforms. It's the same reason they say they pull channels down from YouTube. It's the same reason that they take videos down from YouTube. It's the same reason they'll ban people off of fucking Twitter. Okay? I mean, it's such bullshit. Okay? Like, really? Really? The fuck? Pure fucking hypocrisy. So, Dave, for the love of God, man, you talk about your fucking music shit. I don't care all day long. That's actually good quality content. I like what you say about the classic rockers. Don't think I've just got a vendetta out to get you, Dave. But when you're a fucking fraud, as an honest reporter, I need to say something, especially if we're sharing viewers here and you're going to continue to take these subliminal shots at me after you're done with the drama, just like you were done with the drama before and re-engage it in my comment section, which led to all this. Something you never want to admit when you're making your own fucking videos. But it's hypocrisy, man. If that's what you're going to do, someone just said that they just checked out Dave's channel. He said he might delete the channel. Well, unless he's posted something new, I don't know. I haven't seen that. But me and others agree, if you're watching, you should. Seriously. If this is what you're going to do with a political channel, is hop on board the Rogan bandwagon for the views to advocate for freedom of speech while you are actively censoring speech in your own comment section. On the videos, no less. On the videos, no less, where you're advocating freedom of speech. And I see Anthony Reyes, that was 2 weeks old. Yeah, well, he ain't deleting it now. He's rebranded, and if that ain't new, he's changed it. So he was the Radical Independent. He changed his whole channel name to being the Real Media Observer, which is a spin off of his bigger channel that's got like 50,000 subscribers called The Real Music Observer, where he talks about classic rock and things like that, right? So, yeah, no, he didn't delete that fucking channel. I mean, dude, the guy changes his fucking mood about as often as he changes his shoes. Okay? Or hell, for that matter, probably as often as he changes his fucking socks or whatever. I mean, the guy just constantly changes what he's doing. And yes, he started off in this YouTube scene as a Tulsi stan. He then moved to the Green Party. He then dabbled with the Libertarians, wound up joining more on board the Libertarians, backing out of that, then advocating for, I think, Republicans for a little while, then quickly because of the George Floyd shit. No. Now, all of a sudden, he became a Democrat Biden supporter because Biden would bring us back to normalcy. He then quickly changed on that and went back to the Libertarians. We were all doing some videos about Joe Jorgensen. And then by the time the election comes around, he voted for Donald Trump, so went completely Republican again, okay? And in the Tulsi videos, he was doing nothing but apologizing for his sin of voting for Donald Trump in 2016 and doesn't know how many times he can apologize for it. Go back and watch those if you don't believe me. He literally said that in those, and then he goes and votes for the guy again in 2020 instead of like a third-party candidate. Spent a few months on the fucking MAGA train talking about election fraud and election interference. And then that wasn't working out. So he tried to mend bridges the first time with me and Reed and get back more with the libertarian side, was on board with the libertarians again for a little while, fell out with them because of the stuff he misinterpreted that Reed had to say, became Republican again. Became independent again. That's when he rebranded as the Radical Independent again. And then he does a video with Stacy for Truth's fiance, Pete Quinunez, or however you say his last name. He did a video with him, okay? And then he became libertarian again, and then does a video with Stacy for Truth about why you should join the Mises caucus of the Libertarian Party. And within about a month or so afterwards, he's shitting on members of the Mises caucus with a edited clip that was pure CNN style garbage, which led to all this mess. It is hypocrisy. It is absolute hypocrisy. And anybody who wants to consider themselves to be part of indie media has no business doing that and being a trusted source. I'm sorry. There might be some people who still like Dave here. I'm sorry. The dude is showing his true colors at this point. He really fucking is. He really is. He'll twist anything to make it better for his narrative, which he's already done with what happened with me. He's making it out like I'm some bitter asshole that wouldn't forgive him. No, why don't we talk about how you said you were done with shit, wouldn't engage it in your comment section, then brought it back to mine? Like, dude, we've already been through this. And for the record, by the way, I've already said, okay, literally, I would sit down with him and talk through his Zoom call and try to put this thing behind us at this point. He won't acknowledge that at all. When I said it in his comment section yesterday, he deleted those comments. He took them down. Mr. Free Speech is censoring comments where I say, if you want to put this behind us, let's talk this shit out like grown fucking men. He won't even acknowledge it. Instead, he quickly goes to Getter and asks Reed Coverdale, is there a shot they can talk about this? Because he wants to talk about his side of the story. Like, what? So instead of talking to me like a fucking man that has a set of nuts between your leg, you want to go bitch to Reed Coverdale some more about me when you're the one that wants to move beyond this. I mean, dude, it is fucking childish. He's a fraud. He's a fraud, okay? He literally is advocating for free speech and then engaging in censorship in those same fucking videos. How more of a hypocrite can you be? Serious question. Let me read through some of these chats here to see what everybody's been saying, because they've definitely been rolling in. So let's see. DJL7. We live in a world of David Spurriers. Think about that. Oh, there are plenty of, flip-flopping hypocrites out there. I won't dispute that claim at all. DJL7 again. I don't know, at the Lone Wolf podcast, sometimes we all play those games a little bit, though, right? I mean, dishonest people do. Look, I'm not saying you can change your mind on something, but the way he goes from one belief to another all the time, it doesn't look to me like a person who's just genuinely changing their mind. It looks like a person who's literally trying to fit and get their own style. I'm going to let you in on a little something here, okay? First of all, in some of our private Twitter DMs, he's literally said in the past, like, the reason he would try to relaunch these Tulsi channels are because most of his views came from Tulsi Gabbard views. So are you redoing this because you genuinely just love Tulsi Gabbard? Or do you think that's how you're going to continue to possibly grow your channel? So you want to put out clickbait material in hopes it's going to make you a little bit more money? Which is it? Are you doing this because you're genuinely that supportive of Tulsi? Well, I don't think so, because the dude has had more breakups with Tulsi than JR and Sue Ellen had on Dallas. Okay? I mean, the guy's gone back and forth on Tulsi Gabbard so many times it'll give you whiplash. Okay? Let's see. Anthony Reyes. Yeah, he's lost, and he's playing on the merry-go-round. Yeah. Look, I would be sick going round and round the merry-go-round that many times. I got to be honest with you. So, oh, God. Let's see. Anthony Reyes, you know, he just wants Reed's approval. He wants Reed's approval now that he's done stepped off in a big ass fucking dog pie. Okay, yeah. Now, well, excuse me, not even a dog pie. He's done stepped off into a great big old fucking pile of, bullshit over here, honestly. A nice, big, hot, steaming bull pie. He caused a bunch of shit with a bunch of libertarians that made him look like a fraud because of the way he covered a fucking clip. And then he would not let it go when I kept asking him to, and we were part of a network. And I'm like, look, dude, if you look like a fucking fraud and I started this thing, you're going to make me look like a fucking fraud. I don't want people making me look like a fucking fraud. I want my name to be kept with honesty. So therefore, anything that's attached to me, I want the same thing. And if you can't respect that, you don't need to be here. It's why I kicked Stacy out. I sent them both a message and said, this clip is deceptively edited. I've watched the video it came from. It is giving a false impression. This is CNN type stuff. If you think you need to leave because you just genuinely don't like these people and don't want to be honest in terms of them, let me know. And she said she didn't want to be part of the network anymore. She didn't want to ruin my reputation and quoted me with her CNN type shit. Well, goodbye. Within a matter of minutes, your access was removed from the channel, and the rest is history. And Dave wasn't going to leave. He seemed to actually have some common sense until he just kept popping off videos, making shit worse, and then engaged in his bullshit in my comment section. So that's why the fuck I got rid of him. Propaganda Live. I'm going to start a beef with Charles. I want this smoke. Oh, man. Well, hey, as long as you're not doing some old hypocritical bullshit, it ain't going to be this bad, man. I might, if you start beef with me, I might not like you, but I get fired up when people are just a bunch of dishonest shits, honestly. That's so. Anthony Reyes, I heard Reed was going on Fox News today. Yeah, it's today or something. He's supposed to be going on Kennedy pretty soon. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm real happy for Reed. He's making some real progress, some real steps. I think he just passed over 8,000 subscribers, and he's actually got a new T-shirt out as well. If you haven't, go check it out. Reed's got a new T-shirt out, Naturalist Capitalist. And the design has like a Caterpillar style design on it, like for Caterpillar engines, which a real truck driver would understand and know. Caterpillar engines were the top of the line in the 18-wheeler world. They were the best engines you can get. Unfortunately, thanks to emissions regulations, Caterpillar decided they would no longer engage in building the 18-wheeler engines around 2009, I think. But one of the best trucks you could buy was the Peterbilt 379 with a Caterpillar engine. Me and Reed were just talking about that the other day. I think he said that at one point he got to drive a International Eagle with a Caterpillar engine and said that thing was amazing. And I believe it. But unfortunately, about the best thing you can get in those trucks nowadays are the Cummins engine. A lot of people are starting to swear by those as being the best now that Caterpillar's out of the game. So let's scroll back down here to the bottom. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see. Damn, Ed, you got a lot to say in the comments today. Let's see. Oh, man. So boring. Oh, is hearing about 18-wheelers boring to you, Ed? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I might, I might have to talk about them again some more. So something not a lot of people know, like I don't work with the 18-wheelers anymore, but as I think I've referenced in the past, like I don't have the best of relationships with my dad, but he was a truck driver. And for a while, I actually worked at Shealy Truck Center over here in Duncan. And it wasn't a great paying job. It wasn't a bad job. But unfortunately, I needed to move on for better money, for one. Okay. But also there were some people that worked at that place that really thought they were some sort of a boss that we're not. But that, unfortunately, I would love to work at a Peterbilt place because I've always loved Peterbilt since I was a kid. I thought those were great trucks. I loved riding in them. I loved the way they look. That was a Volvo Mac and international dealership. No, excuse me. Fuck, they'd be pissed at me. They did not deal in internationals. It was Volvo's, Max, Prevost, and certain Western Stars. The Columbia store had Western Stars. So, let's see. DJL7, Spurrier is boring. I'm saying Spurrier is boring. You're interesting to me. You're the man. Love the cowboy hat. Yeah. You know, with the old specs on over here, because if I took them off, I couldn't read a damn thing any of you are saying today. And giving the old eyes a break from the contacts for a little bit, I figured the ball cap would look a little better. You know, the glasses wearing with the cowboy hat, I just didn't think that would have the same image. So I just put the old hat on here. Oh, and t-shirt wise, shout out on this. The old 1992 Perot Stockdale shirt. Obviously, if you don't know that about me, loved what Ross Perot had to say back in the 90s. I thought the man was very, very smart. And in actuality, that brings me back to one other thing. Why I was talking about Spurrier wanting to get all this attention and shit, right? So quick heads up on this. If you've seen any of his latest videos, have you noticed that TV behind him at all? Tell you a little story about this while we're on the fucking subject, and I'm already getting this shit out there, right? So obviously, when I started TFP Network, which when I get everything situated, I've got more time, I'm going to start trying to, add more people back to get some more channels on the network, start promoting, getting that stuff out there, right? Okay. I told him what I was planning on doing with the new studio when it's all said and done. Right now, I'm just waiting on getting the back wall finished, getting a design put up to sit behind me. And I told him, I said, I'm going to be putting a TV up instead of this. The reason why is I'm actually contemplating. I've already got the Blue Collar Review channel, and I haven't really done anything with it. But me and the wife has thought about possibly making some videos with me. Now, she could give a fucking shit about politics. She'd give a rat's ass, okay? Not her cup of tea. She gets what she gets mostly from me because she trusts me more than somebody else at this point. But she doesn't follow it, okay? But she's into this idea of doing like these review videos and trying stuff. I said, well, you know what the fuck? And if I can put a TV there, I can put whatever I want on that screen behind me, get a good quality camera so that it looks good and clear. And I said, I'm thinking about doing that. And then I could put, like, if I want any of these guys in a picture, which I shared a teaser of one I'm going for on Twitter the other day, if you want to go check it out. Okay. I said, I'm going to put that up on the wall behind me. That's the theme I'm going for. Now, is there a possibility Dave already had this in mind, that he thought he was gonna do the same thing and was just coincidental timing? Yeah, there's a possibility. But if that were true, I would think he would have said, hey, man, that's a cool idea. I'm actually getting ready to do something similar myself. Funny you say that. That's not what he said. He said, oh, that actually sounds like a pretty cool idea. And within a week, he had one up behind him. Coincidental? Like, is it just pure coincidence, or is it the motherfucker literally grifting off of what other people do, trying to improve his own channel? The same way I think I might launch another Tulsi style thing because it might get me some more views. That seems to be what everyone wants to watch. So then he gets a good idea and mimics it before you can even fucking do it. So now if you do it, it looks like you copied him instead. Oh, and I would show you those DMs, except for like the third or fourth time, the snowflake deleted his Twitter account, so all those DMs are gone now. So I can't. Otherwise, they would. But I mean, that's literally the kind of person that we're talking about. And I've been reading through some of these. Yeah, those old Friday night shows were really something, man. I mean, we had a lot of fun in those. Even if Israel would just say some really dumb shit sometimes, and he would sometimes, he was still a pretty cool guy, I guess, at the end of the day. And those were some fun shows. We had a lot of good laughs on there. And me being who I am, a Southern hothead, I could get a little heated sometimes, just a little heated. Like that time that Jeff Melton wanted to cut me off and then insist that, you know, I not cut him off in response. But that's all water under the bridge. We put that behind us. So, reading some more here. Anthony Reyes, he copied you. Well, I don't know for sure if he did or not. I just know it's awful coincidental timing that I give him some insight into what I'm planning on doing with my new studio when it's finished. And it ain't that far off. I've got the TV mount today. I got the TV right before with the Black Friday deal. So it's been sitting kind of put away for the time being. The only thing I was waiting on was getting the power hooked up, getting an internet line ran out there, getting some heat and air installed. Check, that's done. Last thing I'm going to be doing, I'll go ahead and let you guys in on it now. The walls have already been like drywalled and everything, but it's just a plain white wall. And before I move all this out there and before I mount the TV, what I'm planning on doing now, and you're getting the insight here live, okay? I'm going to Lowe's and I'm getting some of that wall paneling that looks like a brick wall, okay? And I'm going to have that mounted up behind me. And it'll look like a brick wall that's right in behind me. And then I'm going to mount the TV over there. I'll get the graphics and everything that I can put over there on the screen. And then you'll still have the light element. You won't see all the pictures hanging in the background because that'll also, it's a whole big building I've got outside now. It's where this is going to be done. So that's going to be like my man cave area. So they'll be hanging around the walls and stuff. But if I want to show, like, I'm trying to keep elements that I've already got back here, plus add some more. And you'll probably see them in like some pictures that I'll add some sort of graphic to or whatever and put them over on the screen. And it might just kind of slide through it or something. Again, I already kind of shared a teaser of that over on Twitter if you want to check it out. But so I don't know if he copied me or not, but the timing was just awful sus. Like I tell you, and if you were already planning on it, you didn't mention anything about that to me. But then within a week, you've got one behind you and you're literally putting the pictures of the shit you're talking about on the screen. It's like, it's awful coincidental, man. Awful coincidental. Awful coincidental. So, you know, let's see. Propaganda. Your studios look OG always. I appreciate that, man. I put a lot of time and effort into this stuff. As with the building out there that's coming along as well. A lot of time and efforts went into this stuff. I didn't hire people to come in. Well, let me take that back. Hired a guy to help me hook up the power. You know, hired the people to deliver the building. And I'm going to have someone helping me with cutting, you know, the paneling to get it put up because I'm not the best with that. But as far as getting the window unit, you know, all the heat and air, everything put in there, getting it ready to go, getting everything else set up, you know, digging the trenches for the internet line, all that. Nope. Yours truly getting out there doing the hard work. Let's see. Propaganda Live, gardening channel with Charles. So, have you seen the videos I did earlier this year? Is that what you're referencing or something? Because funny enough, I did actually plant fruit trees last year. 2 Granny Smith apple, 2 Red Delicious, and 2 peach trees. Okay. But I've got another little section that I'm planning on getting tilled up real good and start trying to plant some sort of, you know, like vegetable stuff over there. Main thing, I got to find a way to plant and grow. I got to get plenty of water over there. Watermelon. Dude, I love some fucking watermelon. My wife, not so much. So I got to plant her some cantaloupe. But that's actually been on the agenda for this year, believe it or not. So, you know, if you were saying that just off the wall, hey, you're on to something there. I don't know if I'll do videos on it, though. You know, I don't exactly a 6'4", 300-pound bearded redneck making the gardening videos. Like, could you imagine if I put that soft music intro shit at the beginning, and then you just see some big motherfucker like me? All right, welcome to Gardening with Charles. Now over here, I'm gonna show you how you till up the land. Got to get it all good and till up. Got to get all them weeds and roots. Got to get that shit out. All right. If you don't get that out, weeds going to grow. They're going to take over your fucking plants. You ain't going to get nothing. Okay. Make sure you do that right. Like, does that sound like that would be? I think if anything, people would watch it for the fucking entertainment factor. But let's see. DJL7. Let's see. Do the hat in your old show. Hey, the hat ain't going nowhere. The hat ain't going nowhere. So it was so good Tulsi was coming on. No, Tulsi never came on the show or like comment. The best I got from that was where she was she followed me on Twitter, but that was pretty much about it. OG Charles was my favorite. Well, he ain't going nowhere, you know. He just got a little bit bigger and a little bit drunker at times and a little bit higher as well. But, you know, he ain't going nowhere. Let's see. Propaganda Live. I think you would love a green screen. Sky is the limit. Yeah. Now, you know, I tried a green screen way back in them old fucking, you know, independent report days. I tried it. And it looked like shit, dude. Like I just couldn't. I couldn't. So, you know, and I looked at it and I said, well, granted, there are people that have TVs behind them too. Gray zone. Okay. Jimmy Dore got the giant fucking screen behind him. But I looked at it and I said, rather than trying to do all that green screen editing shit and get a background that actually looks right, it doesn't look like a bunch of blurry bullshit and I'm not pixelating into it and this, like, rather than doing that, dude, I could just put this up there. I can put whatever fuck I want on it and have a background that fits, I think, who I am. And, you know, when you talk about the South, I had two things in mind. Something that kind of looked like wall, you know, like wood cabin planks or something, or like a brick wall. And I'm like, you know, I went with the brick, you know, but I'm like, you know, I think that would have like a good kind of, you know, rustic background to it. Kind of fits who I am, you know. Keep it plain, keep it simple. You know, I'm a simple layman in a lot of ways. I just call it like I see it, try to keep it straight. So, you know, I thought that would have a good look for the style that of the type of person I really am. So that's why I went with what I did. So let's see. Oh, man. Let's see. You was always about having a proper mic. You was like, are you fucking serious with that? I don't even remember what you're talking. I think I know, but I don't know for sure exactly what you were referring to there. So, oh man, let's see. I remember you were having some serious mic issues though back in the day. That might be what you were talking about. I don't remember. Dude, I got a feeling I'm so far behind these fucking chats at this point. Y'all blowing me the hell up. Oh, let's see. No, he don't keep it on the ICU. He don't keep it on the Roku screensaver. No, he'll put, like when he got to talking about this Rogan shit, he had a picture of Rogan up behind him. When he was talking all that shit about Reed and Jose, he had their video clip up on the TV behind him. So, like, yeah, no, he's trying to do this shit. So, you know, check his Twitter. No, he ain't got a Twitter no more. If y'all are talking about Dave, he deleted that shit. Or maybe y'all are talking about Jeff. It looks like some Jeff shit, so I don't know. Let's see. Let's scroll on down to the bottom. I'm so far behind these damn things, I'd be here all night trying to keep up if y'all keep sending them in. So, good Lord. Let's see. Anthony Reyes, how's your editing game, Charles? I'm pretty good with editing. Like that's not really much of an issue. Now, if you're referring to how to edit and get that green screen stuff up behind me, well, You know, like I said, I watched tutorials. I did it, and maybe it was my camera. Like, I don't know. It never looked good to me. It looked like low quality trash. It just didn't look right. I mean, I tried it, but I was like, nah, that doesn't look great. And so that's when I started doing this. I'm like, you know what? I'll try something original here. And so that's what I went with. And like I said, I have nothing against this setup right here. I mean, I think it embodies me. But if I'm going to start doing anything else, I'm like, it's pretty political looking back here, right? You got the Second Amendment, you got Eisenhower, you got MLK, you got JFK. How you going to do a review like the few things that we did, you know, out there in our dining room area? We had to just shoot out there. Like, well, fuck, come in here, it ain't gonna look right. So propaganda live, it's the lights, Charles, the distance of the camera and the lights. Yeah, and see, like, that's the other thing. If I can't really control the zoom with this camera at all, so if I take it too far back, then you like see too much of the sidewalls over here and shit, and it's it just never was something that really worked for me. And you would probably get a lot of those same issues if I'm still using this camera in the new studio. So that's why I said, you know, I try to set something like that up. Who knows? Who knows? I'll never say never. One of these days, that might be what I go for. But in the meantime, the setup I described is what you'll be seeing coming before too long. So take a breather there for a second. All right. So let's talk about this Freedom Convoy. Okay. If you've been following this thing that's going on up in Canada with the Freedom Convoy, they raised over $10 million. Okay. Supposedly, I think I heard somewhere that if they raised $4 million, it would be enough to sustain them for like a few years or something, right? What the fuck? Well, now they're at 10. So I was originally going to talk about this. Now there's been more shit that's added to it, so I might as well just talk about it all. Okay? GoFundMe. We were just talking about censorship of video. GoFundMe shut off their crowdfunding and froze the assets. Froze the money. You can't get it. What? So, like, this should really this should really stand out to a lot of people. I get to some extent why controversial stuff on your platform in video terms might present a bit of a problem. But censoring who people can send money to and whether those people can get the fucking money, like that's bullshit along the lines of when they demonetized Franco on Frank Analysis and shut his channel down where he can no longer receive the super chats right after he literally became eligible to get them. So who fucking knows what they'd do to me if that were to happen. If I finally crossed that 1,000 mark, I'm sure they'd censor my ass too. Probably take it away from me in no time flat. So I ain't getting my hopes up for it. But they did it to him and then didn't even finish paying him the money from the super chats he already got. They just took it like that was already sent to be given to him. And they fucking didn't even give him that. They took away his entire, ability to get him, and then didn't even pay him the ones he'd already gotten. They fucked him out of that too. Like the hell? Okay, and Ed's asking, why did they demonetize him again? I don't know. COVID misinformation, whatever. But they hit him and a bunch of other people. Pretty sure like the Convo couch was hit. I think Nico was hit too. I think they all got hit, right? And I don't know if some of them got it back or not, but I know he hasn't. And so, boom, bullshit. They completely fucked him out of his money. So to me, this whole crowdfunding thing where they tried to take the money away from the truckers was the same thing. Now, hey, say what the fuck you want about Ron DeSantis. And there's plenty of shit to say it about. There's plenty of shit to say about the guy. But he came out, to his credit, and basically told GoFundMe, okay, this is what you want to do. I'm gonna have my AG launch an investigation into you to find out why in the hell you're doing this, right? So, interesting enough, as soon as that came out, they changed course and give the money like, okay, well, they can have the money again. So now they got the funds. At least that's good, right? But it should be concerning. What's the purpose of crowdfunding if they're going to censor who you can give money to? Like, if y'all remember, they did the exact same shit to the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. I like that. Like, they tried to set up GoFundMe for Rittenhouse, and they shut that shit down real fast too. So, that's some bullshit. But that being said, that should be concerning to everyone. It really should. I know I keep saying that, but I'm just trying to process the words like this. This shows a problem with these fucking big tech oligarchs. They've got so much. They've got our society by the balls, to quote, to use a George Carlin style phrase there. They really do. They've got us by the balls, okay? Like, this is literally how we can use tech to try to organize and help protesters and help people trying to promote fucking freedom. And then they can just, you donate all that money. And they say, no, fuck it. We don't want it to go to them. You can't donate it anymore. What? Well, again, thank God for what DeSantis did, and they reversed course on it. I think they got a lot of backlash for it, so they changed their mind. But what they're trying to use now to demonize these truckers up in Ottawa are they're saying that there were certain racist entities that were involved. So they got like a picture of this one dude who's all ski masked up so you can't see his face, and he's walking around holding the Southern Confederate flag. Okay. And when he does, okay, now they got like a photographer following around. Now, this could be completely conspiracy theory land here. I will not say with 100% certainty that this is who this was, but there seems to be speculation in the entire can't talk over here. In the entire situation, there are people who are saying like Trudeau has disappeared. Okay. Trudeau he got the cove right after all this shit started. So he hasn't been seen. But there are people that are saying that the guy that was photographing this man, okay, looks a lot like Trudeau's photographer. It's possible. Possibly. So, but that being said, who knows what the hell this guy was? Either way, the overall situation, it was just sus, right? It was very sus. This one guy shows up to what has been a peaceful protest with the hate flag, and this is one guy, and now they're using it to label the whole thing. Kind of gets you thinking about some of these protests that have happened here when these outside actors show up and start causing all these damn problems, right? Like they can't allow it to be peaceful and effective. They got to do something to demonize it, which is where People speculate what happened with January 6th. What happened with some of those Black Lives Matter protests where the shit got violent? Like, what happened here? Coincidence? But then we get around to the one today. All the money they raised was used to help supply food and fuel. Obviously, these are vehicles, need to run on fuel. Now the police are coming in and taking the fuel. That's what's being reported now. So now they're trying to run them out that way. What the mayor declared like a state of emergency or some shit like that. They were trying to call tow trucks in to come haul them away, but the tow truck said, no, fuck you, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do that. Not today, not today, not today. So I would play a clip that I made in tribute to it, but they would copyright the fucking stream at that point. Who knows? They might wind up pulling the damn video down. But I thought it was hilarious. Like that old country song Convoy just fits so fucking well right now. Oh man. So let's read some more of these comments here before I start wrapping it up. Anybody wants to send anything in, go ahead. I'll take some chats here before we wind this video down. So let's see. Charles is a fucking champ. Dude hasn't busted out laughing once. I have busted out laughing a time or two. I'm just trying to, dude, you commenting some crazy shit over here in my chat. So I'm trying to like focus and stay on point. You've been distracting me a little fucking bit. I'm not going to lie. So I'm trying to stay on point for my video here. But I'm reading some of what you're saying. I'm like, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? Oh, let's see. Dude is real life. You laugh, you lose, champ of the fucking. The fuck? PewDiePie got nothing. Ed, what the hell are you smoking up there, man? You're talking about all kinds of shit right now, Ed. What the hell? Oh man, I'm gonna give it a few minutes here. Just talk about some stuff randomly while I'm waiting to see if we get some more chats rolling in. I'll answer a few more before I wind things up. Let's see. Something that weed and lots. Yeah, we can tell. We can tell. we can tell you're smoking lots of it right now, man. Oh man. Oh, so here's a good one. Here's a good one. As some of you know, okay, and you really did influence me to set up my lighting and sound. Well, hey, I appreciate that, man. I want to read you guys something real quick since we're killing some time while I'm waiting on some chats to roll in here. If you've been keeping up, okay, I've got the Husky puppies, and we're down to only one more that we've been trying to find a home for. And Chad Wilson actually offered to get it, but unfortunately we did have a lady here local who had already asked. So I don't want to make Chad feel like I was jumping over him, but we found a lady right before I posted those pictures and all who said she would take the last one off of our hands, and she does a lot of work with animal rescues and stuff, and so she's I think she would give our little girl out here a real good home, and we just took another one last week, but someone. We had an ads up on Craigslist trying to find someone. We told people, we're like, look, we just want to really find them a good home. We didn't even have a price attached to this shit, right? It's fucking got to be like a damn troll or something. Motherfucker's name is like Newt George. And after my wife told me all this shit, right, I was like, yeah, Newt probably sounds right. Like every time he meets a woman and pulls his pants down, that's probably what the fuck she calls his little fucking Peter hanging between his legs. Like, look at that fucking Newt, man. But he sent in response to this ad, right? Keep in mind, spelling errors are fucking ridiculous here. Okay. You need caging and breeding, you low-life scum, dog criminal, dog abuser. Craigslist does not allow scums to sell pups. Nice try with BS and nice home cram. What the fuck does that even mean? Nice home cram? Okay. What breed are you? White po trash? Or is as a IZ? Or is you ghetto dweller? One of same. Koreans and Spanish docks and builders living in $3 million, I guess is in dollar, homes where I come from. Only after few years here. You, after 540 years here, breed for tattoo and drug money, justice, karma boy, karma, you bloodied pit, matter of time, take this to the bank. And I'm like, me and my wife, like, first of all, whoever it was, like, fuck you, dude. But that's fucking hilarious at the same damn time. Like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? And like, I told my wife, I'm like, that's probably some fucking kid that ain't got nothing better to do than just bother fucking people. Like, what the hell? We thought that was hilarious as shit. I mean, damn. But like, dude, me and wife actually are planning on possibly getting some tattoos done this fucking Friday. We didn't have to sell a bunch of dogs to go do it, though, man. We actually have jobs where we make money. And when we want to do something, we put money aside for that. Novel concept. You know, we weren't selling dogs when we bought our house or our cars. Fuck out of here, man. Oh, let's see. Gonna hang out in Ellie, bro. I guess he's talking about trying to say yell, bro, or something. All right, man. So doesn't look like I got any other chats rolling in here. No other questions coming in. So, you know, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in again to the Lone Wolf Podcast. I think it's been a great stream. We got to talk about some good issues that are going on right now in the world around us, and definitely expose some fraudulent actors who want to be looked at as trusted people, but they're not. So, you know, I think we covered a lot of stuff here, had some fun, had some good interactions with the chat. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you've liked this, make sure you're giving it that thumbs up. I'll be splitting this up into segments and uploading them throughout the week. Make sure you tune back in probably by around Wednesday. I'm going to have my video up, my interview with Yeti Jesus from Twitter. If you know him, if you don't, look him up. Make sure you give the guy a follow over there. Real cool dude. Want to get him back on the show at some point down the line. So I'm going to try to get that up on Wednesday. Again, if you like this, make sure you give it that thumbs up. If you didn't make it in time for the live chat, just drop those comments in the comment box down below. If you just found the channel, you know, and you liked what we've been talking about over here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And, you know, if you want to keep up with it, ring that bell, or they'll never tell you when I upload any damn thing. So, you know, just do that if you want to help support us over here. Hope everyone has a good week. Stay blessed. We'll see you next time on the Lone Wolf Podcast. Take care, everyone.